Welcome back to Chukitibu Media. I am still on this session, the last session whereby the ministers and the Department of State are bringing to the National Assembly their budget for 2024 and 2025. Right now, Oshiomole is questioning the Interior Minister Tunji-Ojo regarding the recent rise in the numbers of permits granted to foreigners, allowing them to come to Nigeria and occupy jobs that could be filled by Nigerians. The minister responded stating that 90% of them lack the necessary work permit to work in Nigeria. So, most Nigerians are not qualified to do the jobs that were being given to the foreigners to come and do. And that is exactly what the minister is explaining. That majority of them actually lack a qualification to handle those jobs. So, there are a lot of questions around this. So for the minister to respond that 90% of them, talking about Nigerians, they lack the necessary papers to get the permit to work around Nigeria, their own country. But you cannot blame him if those people don't have qualification. I mean, if the locals don't have the qualification to do the job, so what are you going to do? You can't leave the job, undone. So I think let's listen to what the defense of Tunji-Ojo is to the member of the committee. I think he took it highly emotional, and he was being asked to calm down while trying to answer the question. Let's watch together and see the way it all ended.
Not a talk show. So that's that about that. Then on the issue of purchase of teaching and learning aid equipment, I think that is just statutory. I didn't put that. I think in almost every ministry, every agency, it's like a line item that comes from the budget office.
All right, thank you very much.
Do you collect business expatriate quota in Naira or in foreign currency?
Naira.
It's Naira.
Expatriate pays in Naira.
Expatriate, it is not the expatriates that pay. That's what I was explaining. It's the company here.
It doesn't matter whether you pay for me or
what they pay in dollars is separate.
That is my question.
Yeah.
That
That is the question. What was your answer to that?
Fine.
No, I explained it.
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't explain that.
Explain to us.
And there's nowhere in your figure said that we see any expression
What's
of
what that comes from?
foreign currency. No, what the point has been made, just listen to his answer.
Mr. Chairman, may I address you, please? Thank you. I explained that expatriate quota and business permit is within the purview of ministry as a ministry. There's a department called C&B, Citizenship and Business, that deals with that. And I explained that when people want to, at the beginning, when you need expatriate, a company like Dangote can come. For instance, I'm using him as an example. I'm using the company as an example to say, okay, I need 1,000 expatriates. The Dangote applies to the Ministry of Interior. Once he applies, he already has a business permit anyway. Then he will now request for this bulk quota, like a lump sum. If he will now justify and now say that this 1,000, I need engineer too, mechanical this. Please, can you, please, honorable, let's speak, please, calm down. The issue of setbacks is not wrong. Your Excellency, 1 point, please, 1 point. I raised it very clear, and that's why I said the issue of setback. It is not within the purview of the ministry. It's
We have immunity in the National Assembly. It's the only privilege we have. So when you are selected the government test, it is to live up to the standard that you have to establish.
When you are in the House of Rep. So what do you do, people, they must to do it to you.
so we are comrades, sir.
Yeah, I saw that. I think you have to have capacity to absorb all the punches, and there will be more punches. But then we go to your agencies because you are supervising many. But let me just ask this. This is a question that should be for immigration, but because you are the supervisory minister, And like you said, people apply to you anyway. Maybe the processing immigration or whatever.
If you're new to this channel,
the truth of the matter is your explanation on the increase in quota, I have personal concerns. No country in the world, not America, not China, not Europe, that allow all manners of people to come under all kind of guises, and they are giving visas or green card, whatever it is, passport, to reside in the country. When, maybe over the weekend when you are not at work, just visit some of the commercial centers in Abuja, and you will find expatriates selling chairs, selling tables. You will find expatriates selling bread, making bakeries. I don't want to measure their nationality, so I mean I have to be a bit diplomatic. But there are clearly jobs that Nigerians can do, jobs that Nigerians have been doing, that have now been relaxed and transferred back. All the gains of indigenization, Nigerianization. As a union leader, I fought many employers when they seek to import expatriates to do jobs that Nigerians can do. And as it stands, somebody said it from brass. If you check the document seriously, you will find technicians from foreign countries coming here as engineers, while our own engineers are working in foreign restaurants in Europe and elsewhere. You are too generous in issuing permit for expatriates to do jobs that Nigerians can do. I raised this matter even when Ngige was Minister of Labour, but I realized that it was not, it is the Ministry of Interior. And I work, when Nigeria had a manufacturing sector, I work in that sector. But even today, those jobs that have been exclusively reserved for Nigerians are today being carried out by foreigners. I see foreigners managing supermarkets, small stores, as nobody can tell me that Nigerians cannot be a sales manager in a small company. And I'm not talking of a big scale business. And you see this expatriate, again, I don't want to mention they tend to come from a particular part of the world. So I think you need to review that. Because since the economy is not creating the number of jobs that we need to cope with the population growth rate, we do need to ensure that the jobs that are available are not taken over. It is right to encourage foreign investors. It is even right to accept to borrow money from foreign countries, but not to lend and allow them to take over our territory. I see expatriates who sleep in containers. I see expatriates working in where they produce. I come from Edo North, and you find them working in granite. Things that Nigerians have been doing. That is not really mining. This is granite we use for road construction, for civil engineering, construction, etc., etc. So obviously, quarries, that is the correct word. These are jobs that Nigerians can do. And if you keep licensing foreigners to do it, you are actually compounding the unemployment situation of skilled Nigerians. I want you to speak to that. And at a point, I will say to somebody that we may have to commission a consultant, just Abuja here. I will have a conversation with you as to the definition of what a Nigeria can do and what your honest judgment in Nigeria cannot do. And let's just do a test case of Abuja capital territory. By the time you go to Lagos, I go to Chinatown, the picture might even be much more confounding. Recently, I am sure distinguished senators and honorable members, you will have read in newspapers about people from, after they measure our name, we too can measure their names. Chinese people being arrested by EFCC for Yahoo activities. Those ones came here with your permit. You have expatriate quota for Yahoo players. So I think these are issues we must take much more seriously. We mustn't allow one expatriate that has no business here to be here. He can visit as a tourist, but like every tourist, you go back at the expiration of your tourism. I am particularly, if you understand my background, when it comes to job creation and transfers of unemployment to Nigeria, I am a fanatic. I think your ministry can do a lot more. You should be less generous. You should carry out more interrogation about the kind of job people are doing. When I go around many places, the people I see, if you go to Kano, you will find Chinese working, doing bakery work. Small stores. No, that cannot be. Because they don't allow Nigerians to go to their country to do those things, even though we have very cordial relationship with them. So I'd like to have your comment on it, and it's something that I think you need to, as a Nigerian, we all have a duty to secure those jobs for Nigerian young people, and even the not so young.
Let me say this, that there's nothing to hide, and I was talking about a process. And if honorable member had waited for me to land, probably the agitation would have been quenched. The key issue is, I told you, the way the procedure, the workflow. After the expatriate quota and everything is taken by the ministry, then the immigration issues the SEPAC card, not the ministry. That's what I'm saying. And payment is made to government account online, which is charged in dollars, but in naira. You spend in naira at prevailing CBN rate, online conversion, the CBN rate. That's the way the system works. So the money goes to government account, but by NIS, not by the ministry. So what is a part of the revenue profile? And when you look at the defense section of NIS, you will see SEPAC as part of their revenue profile. I will not go and appropriate the revenue of NIS as a ministry source of funding. That is not the principle of appropriation. That was not what we were taught in this chamber, and I will not pretend over such an activity. So it is when it comes to NIS funding, what they call budget, you look at the profile there, SEPAC is there. It's just like asking me, why is passport not in my profile? I cannot put passport. I don't issue passport.
It's clear.
Then on your question on what you raised, Your Excellency, let me say this. And as I said, I want to plead that one of these days when Your Excellency is free, there's a lot to really talk about, not in an executive session. But in an executive session that has to, because I'm being very choosy and I'm being very picky in terms of information that I drop. We cannot solve, we can't solve national security. We can't solve the problem of unemployment. We cannot solve the problem of even deprivations if we do not solve the problem of migration management, which is immigration. And these are not issues that we'll talk about in public. When we speak about these people, the problem is oftentimes we try to solve compound problems by solving them in silos. We cannot provide a solution in silo to a compound problem. 90%, I want to tell you, sir, a lot of the people that you spoke about, they do not have permits. A lot of them do not even have this document, and that is the essence of the automation process that we are doing. Because I'll give you an example. When you go to Singapore, when you go to any country in the world, the effective border control management is the basis of your whole migration management. I'll give you an example. When somebody is coming into Nigeria, it's part of the solution we are deploying now, free of charge. It's not government fund, we're doing it. When somebody is coming into Nigeria, how do you even confirm and ensure that the person is not even coming through a fake visa? Something as simple as that. That's number one. Number two, we inherited a system. We inherited a system whereby we had two visa regimes. I don't know of any country that runs dual visa regimes. There is the manual and the bio visa here and there. So even when you go to a country, just like our passport, it's now that we now have just one series now, starting from this January. It's what we've been doing over the last 80 years. And immigration, that's why Nigerians are treated with disrespect. Sometimes at foreign border posts, you go into America, somebody in front of you who is a Nigerian gives a passport. The immigration officer looks at it, sees that it's a Nigerian passport, he lets you go. The next person that comes bring another type of passport, because we're having the A series and the B series, two different passport regimes for a country when we know that passport is a symbol of sovereignty. It has to be uniform. So a lot of these things in Nigeria, when you come, a lot of people don't even fill landing card, because where else do you go to that they still give you paper landing card in this era? That is not even capturing your biometric. It's not even comparing the biometric feature to your feature that you gave in your visa application, so that to be sure that before you are boarded before any airline, because once there is a procedure and a protocol by a country, airlines are bound to obey. So you don't even leave your country if you don't pass through the right channel. So there are a lot of these automation processes. So these were things we inherited, and we have built the infrastructure. We are building on it, but I'm just talking half and half on this. When there's an executive session, I will be able to open up the entire structure of what we are trying to do and what we have done and where we are going to. Thank you, sir.
All right. Other agencies on. So I think the minister has been extremely detailed. I've attended some other budget defense. I can't recall anyone where the minister has been as exhaustive as he has been to us, and I do also understand that when you are dealing with, we had a senator who was one of us. He's now more minister than a senator, so he's more about character. It's not into, but it goes without saying that you'll be in the house gives you a deeper insight into why we want to find out how you spend your budget. But I think even coming from the members, we want to congratulate you for what you've done in 2024, and you were a lot younger in 2024 than you are going to be in 2025. But I hope your energy will still be there and your experience will be much, much deeper. So now we thank you for your presentation. I believe we are satisfied with your explanation. If there are more questions, like you said, after this budget season, we can have a special session to discuss those.
Talk about implementation of technology, new innovations, and so on, which I suppose are capital investments. Does it mean that to that extent the ministry is indebted, or contractors have performed jobs and they have not been paid?
What did we do? It's just thinking out of the box. We didn't spend a couple of government money to do some of these things. What we did was, we didn't enter into a new contract. Is to look at existing contracts and see how we can do value, what we call value proposition in management, to be able to look at, okay, what does this, for instance, somebody has a contract on issue of VACs. I'm citing an example. Yet he didn't build a VAC approval center. How do you do this? You can't take the easy way and not give government the facility that you're supposed to give. So what did we do? It's a matter of, okay, you are enjoying this privilege from government, then you just have to do this. So it's about bringing people back and now designing a solution ourselves. In most of these solutions, I have to tell you, I consulted personally, because I'm an IT consultant of over 20-something years. It's what I've done all my life. So I brought my expertise into play to say, look, this is the solution. You can't deceive government. You can't do this. You can't be generating this. At the end of the day, you are supposed to provide this. You are not providing what you are supposed to provide. It's about bringing people back. We know the value of what we have brought to bear. For instance, in Nigeria today, NIS boasts of one of the biggest data centers that we have anywhere in Nigeria today. We have one of the biggest. And of course, that's millions of dollars. But we didn't take a kobo from government. And that is why today we see the whole of interior, either it is the ministry, it is correctional service. I'll give you an example of part of what happened. When there was a jailbreak in Suleja last year, it took us time.
Thank you for watching. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing so you won't miss out on our latest video.